Tautai lover, Ben. Thanks, Kaz. So, our first speaker this morning is Jerry Leaupepe. And this morning's pretty special because Jerry and I went to Teachers College together. It's a while ago now. So I'm so excited and really proud to listen to your message today, Jerry. And he's now making waves at Tautai Ole Moana. So looking forward to your wealth of knowledge that you'll share with us. It's my pleasure to welcome Jerry Leaupepe.
Awesome, Talofa. Thank you so much, Susan. Yes, it is very, very good to see you. And the world and the moon have turned several times. A quick thank you to Ben and Brian for the opportunity to share with you all. Hey, so good morning, everyone. Looking forward to sharing what insights that I have attained over the last few years in regards to AI. And much like AI is not the silver bullet to all our problems that we currently face in education, let alone across the world, nor is this presentation, but hopefully it's enough to answer some of the basic questions that have come through, which has resulted in this presentation being created. And more importantly, hopefully it sort of lends itself to some additional tools that you could use in your space or within your roles. That's what we're looking to sort of try and cover over the next sort of 45 minutes. There will be times where I'll go into live demos, but generally what's happened is that I received a whole bunch of questions from Brian and Ben in relation to AI. It was quite a range of different questions. And so what I've done is theme those questions to try and get it into 2 or 3 delivery points. And for those of you who don't know me, and I do apologize, I sort of went back and given a bit of intro about myself. I've been in education for around 20 odd years, been very, very fortunate to have led 2 schools. The last school here in Mangere, I cottoned on to some AI quite early, late 2023. And I got myself on the hands of a beta version of ChatGPT when that launched, and then really sort of got into it with our staff from there. Unfortunately, the initial push for some AI back then was not terribly well received. The doors have started to open up a bit more here in New Zealand as opposed to overseas. But in saying that, I suppose best we push forward with some caution versus just trying to jump straight into things. Here are some of the basic questions that were sent through to me, guys. What I'll do is I'll cover those through the presentation. And I'll answer a couple just off the cuff. You know, the main one I typically get is, you know, well, is that top one, hence I put it on top. Will AI replace teachers? No, I don't think AI will replace teachers at all. I think once we contextualize and understand AI as a collaborative tool, I think educators will start to see that that's exactly what it is. It's just a tool, but we will still remain the face of providing education to our kids. The biggest thing that I really need to get across to a lot of you guys is really understanding the difference between large language models and Google. Large language models, which come in the form of ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Manus, Quinn, and these are all large language models that have been designed to really allow us to now interact with information. And so basically large language models have huge billions of data sets pumped into this thing, and they only go up to a set date. And basically it gives you access to knowledge across a greater range that Google typically can give you. The biggest difference is that, and I'll address some of the issues that were raised, one being the retainment of information. Large language models basically aren't trained to retain information within their threads. And so they come in 2 forms. They come with long-term memory and then short-term memory. Short-term memory is typically added to the thread itself to allow the large language to keep in time of what's going on within that discussion. Long-term memory is basically allowing the large language model itself just to remember basic things about the user so it can interact with it down the track. So that way you're not having to constantly repeat to the large language model who you are, what you do, etc., etc. But the biggest misconception is data collection. And the only way that someone could get access to something that you started on a thread is if you basically share the thread itself, as opposed to Google that is constantly in real-time data crawling, because it works off a retrieval system, and obviously its algorithms want to ensure that it feeds its users data and information based on its algorithm retrievals. So just to get that clarified, I mean, I've come across several schools who sort of said that they don't want to share information, which we're going to go into some of those examples pretty soon. The other thing to also understand about large language models, it actually allows you now to manipulate information and start to evolve it beyond its actual knowledge base, which is another example that I'll show you, which really sort of takes the tool itself into a whole new realm away from Google. So you just squiz over that just very, very quickly. AI is just a fancy Google, not necessarily. It really has evolved well beyond Google at this point. It's gone well past retrieval. Yes, it can retrieve information, but its actual design is to help evolve information beyond where it came from. A big thing that I deal with, so I do work with a number of schools across the country with some AI integration. I do encourage schools that, you know, please don't look at AI as the silver bullet that's going to save you from everything and provide you with everything that you want to achieve. It is simply a tool. It's a really, really good tool, but we shouldn't sort of start to view it as the answer to some of the education problems that we face. The other real big thing with a lot of you guys that's come through is its ethical use and more so its policies. A lot of schools and countries are sort of encouraging us to develop our own AI policies. It's something I'll talk about later down the track once we go through the presentation. But the biggest thing that I think we have to be wary of is its ethical use. And I do encourage schools to really put that on the table amongst staff and amongst who want to use this tool to really discuss what are ethical issues that we potentially will encounter. And when I talk ethical issues, I talk mainly around things like, for example, teachers using AI to create their lessons 10 minutes before they go live in a class. Teachers creating unit plans without no contextualization of the school or their kids or the way that they run their school. So that's where I really come across, because the tool itself has a whole bunch of privacy and ethic standards actually built into it already for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to go live and look at two things in this one, which is accessing school data and then interacting with information to build it on. I'm going to go through Quinn. So Quinn is a large language model that came out of China around 3 months ago. It's open source free. It does everything that chat can do, let alone Claude or Perplexity. And it's actually not a bad tool.
Jerry, will you be sharing these slides after
Yeah.
after this Fono? Awesome. So what is it you're typing in there, Jerry?
So I'm just asking the model to now just to call on all student data from schools in South Auckland only. And I've just done that because, again, one of the misconceptions is that it can access information. And then what you'll start to see, it'll start to claw through. But just like anything, it'll only go to what is publicly available.
Okay.
So to think that it can actually go into a school's SMS system, which is really sort of trying to hack the system, it can't do that. And so if I say, for example,
what is that program called, Jerry?
so just from a school management system, just from any management system. And
No, the program the program you're using, what is it called?
This is Quinn.
Quinn
3, which is a model out of China. And you'll start to see there that it says, then it comes back and says, no, I can't access that information at all.
So it's only grabbing information from the ministry websites, I'm guessing.
It'll access things like ERO, education counts, ministry, anything where something has been publicly made available. Okay, anything beyond that, it cannot access and it won't access. It's like me typing in my own bank account details. I've done a session where I've uploaded my visa statement in bits and pieces, and then I've asked another staff member to jump on the same site in a whole new thread to access that information, whereas they cannot access that information at all. So if you can see that there, I've asked it to say, hey, look, just give me literacy starting data from schools in South Auckland. It's done that. But again, see, it's just gone to all public sites. Give me a school direct from their SMS, from their student management system, then it clearly states I cannot directly access or retrieve that sort of data.
Okay.
Okay, you can access student data through your school's management systems, such as that, etc.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So no different to, for example, I'll start a whole new chat. I'll just enlarge that. I'll have to do that as I go.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Thank you.
Excuse my typing.
That's about as good as mine.
Oh, I've got to slow that down a bit. There we go.
Oh, so it does take an ethical position,
Yeah, absolutely. All of them do.
which would be great for students who are, sometimes students come up with the outrageous ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. So if they're putting in things like anything that it would deem as derogatory or adverse, it'll stay clear from.
Awesome.
Okay. And then understanding large, and I'm jumping into Claude now, which is another large language model. Understanding how we build on knowledge. So for example, I know, for example, that all large language models have update and cutoff dates. So they're updated to a point. So say, for example, this site is updated to January 25. Any information that hits the internet from February on until its next update, it can't access, but it can contextualize based on its current base knowledge. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I'll give you an example here. So for example, I'll just tell it. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Yep, just go back up.
Okay, so I've just asked it for basic. So basically, I'm just saying, okay, yep, it has knowledge about that, etc., etc. Then I'm going to tell the breakdown. Just as we do that, it freezes.
I've just got a question from Katie. She asks, is that all the LLMs that have the ethics element?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Jerry, because this is an open source, does it have any limit on the number of texts that you put in?
It does, and so it's called what's called tokenization. So what large language models do, they break the language down into little bits, which is, if you look at the number side of things, for example, through computation, it's called bytes, whereas in the language world, they're called tokenizations, where they token the language. And so, for example, if you look at the word knowledge, it could break that down into 3 different tokens. It could sort of break it down to N, KN, OL, ledge, or whatever. And it breaks it down because it wants to recognize language patterns.
Okay.
Okay. And so I'm now going to say to it, for example, I know that it understands that. And then I'll say, I want to evolve the breakdown rules and bring in a new way of doing this. And let's go thoughts.
Can you enlarge that a bit more, Jerry?
So what it's doing now, it's now sort of going through, well, hey, look, this is what it's telling me, basically what it knows of it. Okay, of that particular topic. And so now based on this, I'm going to now push to say, what if we did something different? Maybe only 3 to a breakdown. Make it faster.
Right.
Yeah, and so once I start to engage with it in a collaborative nature to build on base knowledge, it jumps on board with me. And it then starts to want to use its base knowledge along with my direction to help grow my new concept of it.
So you're still controlling the narrative here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so I really encourage people to see AI as an extension of what they already know.
Okay.
And they just want to take what they know into a whole new realm. And so, for example, I'll say to it, what would you, oh, sorry. Okay. So whatever the context is, it's not about, and what I'm seeing is with most people, they're still in Google mindset where they're just trying to retrieve information.
Right.
And that's probably stage one of really understanding where to then take it, because we're all really good retrievers of information, but we're not really prepared ourselves. What do we do with the information and where do we want to take it? So it's really about, well, how do you reimagine something in that space based off its current context, and where do you want to take it? I know a lot of you guys are supporting schools in those sorts of areas. And again, based on the example that I've just given you guys, I'll now use this to sort of, in an educational context. I've been working with some bilingual schools, but more so with schools that have Bangahau Niue bilingual units up in Rowendale and over at Fono. And I'm really interested to see how AI is able to assist them with customization of their resources, content, etc., etc. We also know that large language models have access to language. It is able to, its major languages, especially in the New Zealand context, Māori and Samoan, because those two particular languages pretty much had a really good body of content out there on the internet. It's able to access that and actually be quite good. With some of our minor languages, with Bangahau Niue, I've had to build customized GPTs to allow it to try and be a lot more accurate with its Bangahau Niue when interacting with it. We know that AI are experts in development of language, semantics, syntax, etc., etc. It knows how to build it. It understands how to build different languages. With the smaller languages, it just struggles on its cultural nuance, especially with its vocab. So this is a resource that I did in conjunction with Rowendale Primary for their Bangahau Niue unit, and for their juniors. They take a 70-30 approach in those spaces. And this is the sort of resource that we created. And so the character itself, all created through AI, and I'll show you that thread and take you through that process of what we did. We then
Jerry, Jerry, this was created in chat, the full version of chat.
Yeah, this is created in chat, and I use chat to create this. So guys, basically, I use different large language platforms for different tasks. What I'm also seeing is that people are just trying to use one model for everything. And each one is better at something than the other. With 4.0 at the moment, its ability to create images, but more so its ability now to create consistent images, changes the rules a little bit for us. And so based on that creation, we're able now to customize the images to suit what we're trying to do in the story. And then as a result of the story or the context created there, creating the vocab box and some of the comprehension questions, more importantly, in line with their 70-30 split. And so I'll come across here. So over here in ChatGPT that everyone's familiar with, you have on the left-hand side, up here in the corner, GPTs. And what GPTs do is they allow you to customize a specific channel to do something on its own. So basically I have this channel here, which is the Bangahau Niue channel. And behind it, what I've done is I've provided it with some coded instructions with a whole bunch of resources, and I've turned the AI in towards those resources only for it to use that as its core base to provide the outcome that I require. And so this is the channel gone live with Rowendale. And so the teacher I'm working with basically just put in there, can I please get introduction? Now, let me just blow that up for you guys. How's that?
Thank you. Yep. Yep. We can see that.
Get an introduction for speech for Sunday group. And then,
sorry, Jerry. This is the paid version, Stephanie. Yep.
This is paid, yep. So the paid version, you require that to create the GPTs. ChatGPT are the only outfit at this point in time that have this particular feature within its large language model.
And I'm sure the cluster managers will be able to fund the full version of ChatGPT if you ask them.
Yeah, but also Ben, like, so for example, I could, I'm working with some schools who think, for example, that they have to give the paid version to all their staff. Whereas I'm saying, no, what you do is just decide whether it's your senior managers who have the paid version who then create these resources.
Absolutely.
Then we just send the link to any staff member who can then access the full ChatGPT just on free version. But
it can only be one person at a time. Is that right?
No. Whoever has the link is able to access the GPT.
So it's open. Despite how many people have logged in. Okay, that's good to know.
The only thing is they cannot get to the back door of it to manipulate anything that I've created to help power the GPT itself.
Oh, awesome.
And so when we go through this, it gave that basically. I'm just going to sort of just scroll through. We sort of corrected it, which it did again. We then asked it to create a couple of resources out as a result of that, which did that for us. And at the same time, the Whanganui teacher was able to attest to its accuracy. Basically, I had 4 fluent speaking Niuean teachers working with me on this one, and all 4 agreed it was accurate, anywhere between 90 and 95% accuracy in its response.
Right.
Okay. I then just took a photo of a journal story, of a journal article, sorry. Then I asked it to give me an appropriate Niuean version of it. Again, in the 70-30 split. Okay. It's able to create activity sheet plans out of this thing. And for our bilingual units, it gives them a lot more autonomy around creating resources that are really targeted to what they're trying to achieve, as opposed to trying to wait hand out. Can someone give us a hand, or can we get some resources to try and do what we're trying to with our students in class? Okay. Then what we did, because I'll get down to the book part, we started creating a whole bunch of resources because this was test phase 1 for us. Then we asked it to do a study on the Hefi Ulu. It then came back and said that Hefi Ulu, the storm. We then corrected it and says wrong context, haircutting, and then it straightened itself out and then got back in line for us.
Wow.
Okay, then gave us that. So from here we start to create the resource that I just showed you guys, which I'm going to have to show you. So we said give an image, create an image for us, which it created an image. And so this image, it took aspects of it from an image that was already out there and recreated that. Then we had to recreate the image again because I wanted it more customized. And you'll sort of see in the white parts, I'm talking, let's use the image to create the same characters, because what I'm trying to do now is get it consistent.
I'm just thinking, Jerry, do you have to be tech savvy to use this program? No, not really.
Oh, not so much tech savvy, but tech's accurate, basically.
Okay.
You'll start to see that as I get through, because I'm just trying to test this thing and I'm trying to build the story with a context, give me an image, context, give me an image. But then I figure it out as I get down further on. Okay. And you'll start to see that I'm sort of questioning it, that I want it to do something standing outside the house of South Auckland. So it recreates another image for me. And so then I get it to do again. And you can start to see now that it's starting to lose consistency.
Greg made an interesting comment saying that it's like a toddler. ChatGPT is like a toddler. You have to tell it what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I tend to agree with that comment.
Yeah. And so as I get further down, I then decide, well, let's just do Leo walking to school, which is relatively closer to the last image that it created for me. But then as I sort of start to think more down, and you can, guys, you start to see how I'm really shaping it, and you start to see a lot of my ideas come forward first, and it starts to jump on board. I'm not just asking it, can you, are you? I'm actually sort of thinking, and I'm working collaboratively with the tool. And so you see here, I was thinking more like this. Ah, yes, okay, makes total sense now.
Wow,
So
I didn't really think about it like that. Actually working with it, using the right type of words to actually put into the command,
yeah,
the right script.
the right script. But then you can see now the image is starting to change again on me.
Yeah.
And then I say to it, no, do that again. No text, should be just images going forward. And then it does that for me. You know, and I say, I ask you to be consistent. And then I battle this thing for around 10 minutes. Because you see again, it's gone inconsistent. And then I give it this, and then I tell it, let's start again. Okay, you're all over the place. Okay, and then I say his name is Leo, Jandals on feet. So I now, can you see now that I'm actually now specific with what I want?
Yeah.
Where I didn't say that at the start. Leo, Jandals, blue shirt, black shorts, long hair. Do that image.
So the specifics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then after that, I then figure out, okay, based on the consistency, I've just got to create each image directly after each other. And so because I've already got the outline of the story, this allows me just to quickly now go and create the image for each page. Okay, same character at home, kitchen, talk to his mother. Excellent. Same character mowing the lawn. Same character talking with dad on the table, etc. This one's here. See, look, it'll do that same character budget. And then I say, same character now finished brushing teeth and is now kneeling down the bed saying prayer.
Learning in real time.
Yeah,
Just
but then
thinking.
it changes the pajamas on me.
Yeah, what happened there?
Then
It does that. So yeah, but it really doesn't matter. It's not a biggie, is it?
Well, then I say, no, do this again. Must be the same pajamas as the image with the birds.
Okay.
That's back, but then it gives me pajamas with holes in his knees. But say, hey, look, I'm good with the holes in the knees for this point in time. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Then once I get the images created, that then allows me to go back now through each one and now create the context or the story parts and the vocab and the activities for each page, which then allows us to build that resource, which led us to this part. And so this is a 12 series part where it has 12 different contexts of this character, a heap of vocab based on their 70-30 split. It really means that they could really use the whole book and using one context per week. So that way they're saying that, hey, look, our kids are getting 10 new words every week in context with this resource, etc.
This is really good, Jerry.
So that's creating a resource, and which then leads us into this, because obviously we spoke about accuracy of language and understanding prompting. And it's really, really important that you really sort of start to feed the right language into the model itself. What I've done for a few schools, I've just created just a basic prompting framework. And this one's just called EPIC. And it's designed to really make sure that you go in that order, because it allows the AI to go beyond. And so with that there, you guys can read that there. So this is really just to start a thread. Once you've done that, you'll go into a single loop process of expand, design, refine. So basically, here's some basic prompts. You know, for example, you're a writing coach for Pacific boys who struggle with literacy. If you type that in, yeah, it'll give you some stuff, but it'll come in at base level.
Jerry, just got a quick question. Andrew has asked, where does EPIC come from? Did you make this up?
Correct, yeah. And if I did the same prompt and alter it, whereas I would say you're an experienced writing coach, you sort of see the difference of what I'm asking from it. What the AI does now, because it's been trained on millions of data sets of language patterns, it then starts to pick up on words like experience, rich, etc., etc., And as opposed to come back at a base response, it'll start tapping into some richer language patterns that it's been exposed to. So that when they help you write a unit plan versus you're an expert curriculum consultant with 20 years experience.
That's very specific.
Yeah, because I'm asking to access rich data patterns for us to better build what I'm trying to what I'm trying to do based on the task in front of me. So, for example, depending on the educational role, what is its purpose, what are its clear instructions, but more importantly, what are the constraints that you want to put on this thing? So you can sort of start to see the difference if I were to put a Google prompt in there, find a unit for year 8 versus design a unit alongside me for my units, for my year 8 students who do this, this, and this. This is really special about them, etc., etc. So basically, the more you feed it, the more it can contextualize what you're actually trying to do and try and give you something more richer versus here's a response here for you. And then once you go beyond Epic, you'll go through this on any part of the thread that you're creating where you want to expand a particular part to explore it more. That'll then lead you to designing that a bit more. You refine it, and then you'll find another part within that thread that you want to do exactly that same thing again.
That's amazing.
Okay. So I've prepped one already, which is that one there. Okay. But what I'll do is, let's go back into here. And for example, let me explode that up a bit more. Can you guys see that one right better?
Yep, that's good. So what is it going through at the moment?
So I've just asked it just to give me a literacy unit for year 8 students and NZ 3 lessons only. Okay, while that's doing that, I'll start another one here actually. And let's see if we can spot a difference.
So these are 2 different programs.
It's on the same platform, so that way we get a bit more consistency with its response.
Okay.
I'll type here. You are a And so here it is here. And so this is what this thing's done. So I've got to shrink that down so it gets the side panel.
And that's the lesson plan.
That's it there. Okay. So it's giving you the plan as it did.
And you can modify it any way you want, like to include learning supported students at year 8 level.
But again, it's just giving you a basic unit. And this is what I talk about ethical. Whereas if I was a teacher, I would consider it, because all I asked was a unit versus what I've got here. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to do this with the wrong hand. Do I see that okay on the side?
Yep.
Sorry, part of the screen. So you can sort of really start to see the difference in what it's and the detail that it's added. So it's tapped into sports, so it's tapped into Valerie Adams. It's done that. It's tried to contextualize it. It's given me that. So what I'll do now is I'll go through one single loop now is let's apply, oh sorry, let's apply common practice model. I do, we do, you do, very detailed for the teacher part.
So you're just refining it, aren't you?
Yeah, and so I've expanded to design it to refine it.
Yeah. Jerry, Tracy's asked, how does Gemini compare to the LLMs you're demonstrating?
Well, Gemini is an LLM. That's just Google's product of a large language model.
Okay.
And again, I mean, Gemini, I think there's some really good parts. The upgrades of late have been fantastic. You'll find that different large language models do different things. I find Claude, for example, its predictive analysis doesn't take off on you as quick as, say, for example, Chat
Yep.
output as quick as it can and just does this. I like Quinn because Quinn, you start to see in real time it's thinking pre-thought process, and then it goes through a part where it sort of starts to do bits and pieces. I like Perplexity because it really cites everything that it comes across and where it got it from.
Awesome.
Yeah, and again, depending on the task will depend on what large language model I'm trying to use. Okay, so you start to see now how I've sort of expanded it to redesign it, and now I can go through and start refining things from here.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, and so for our teachers, we can really sort of break down some content for them to deliver a lot more effectively in their space. We can allow our teachers to really access some of the creative parts that they've been wanting to do, as opposed to our teachers now going into ARBs and trying to find a resource that's as close as what's in their head, but ultimately cannot find that.
Now they can recreate it.
Yeah, now they can customize it exactly the way that they thought that it would play out.
Yeah.
As long as, yeah, in that lane.
Awesome.
Something else that I've done here for schools, because like I said earlier in the piece, AI is not for everything. It is not. So what we have to figure out in schools is, where do we want AI? How much of we want it? And where do we get that balance? And so what I've created here for a few schools is just a rubric on way they can chuck a task into the table to try and determine exactly how much AI they want. So for example, if we're talking about student reports, we would then go through the question process. Most of the schools that I've gone through with that example typically end up scoring anywhere between 18 and 26.
Wow.
And down,
okay.
Which takes them to the middle part, which is recommendation, human AI partnership. AI can provide valuable assistance with research, drafting, or analysis, but oversight, etc., must remain with the human component.
So you use this tool day one before you even start introducing the actual AI programs that you've developed?
Yeah, and just trying to identify actually where do we want AI use to help make something better or improve efficiency.
Yeah.
Because what I'm seeing in some schools, they're just trying to chuck everything into it. And I'm saying, nah, wasn't designed for that, guys.
Well, as long as it aligns with what their strategic focus is, it's ultimately comes down to, what are you using it for?
Yeah, but I mean, we want to embrace AI as a tool that's going to really improve the way that we think as well. We cannot see it as a shortcut or a cheat code tool.
Absolutely.
The minute we start doing that, then, oh geez, I think we start going down a completely different rabbit hole.
Yep, totally.
We have some questions, mate.
Hello.
Yep, we can hear you. Is that you, Tanya?
It is me.
Ah, there you go.
Kia ora, Jerry. Thank you for your presentation. I have two questions. My first question is just in terms of like AI tools. You know, there's so many. So how do you have like a cheat sheet for what's good for what purpose? You know, and what sort of advice do you have for someone that's new to the AI space, just so they're not so overwhelmed, and where's a good starting point? And my second question is around like policies and procedures. So we're in our cluster, we're looking at creating like a policy just to keep RTLB safe, to keep our schools safe, just to ensure that, you know, information is used and shared carefully, just to ensure that, yeah, everyone stays safe in that space. So what advice and recommendations do you have around that?
Cool. Hey, Tony, so and you did right. There's an abundance. Actually, there's just overkill of tools that are currently out there. And I really encourage a user, just find 2 to 3 tools, preferably 3 different large language models platforms, and then just bounce between those 3 only. The reality is like you'll get other tools that can like diffit and those sorts of tools that come preset. You just put in give me a unit and it does all that sort of stuff. But it can't go beyond that, whereas large language models that you've just seen are actually able to take you beyond that. And so I would recommend, and why I also recommend maybe 3, what I do is I triangulate sometimes data in between the different 3 sites, and then just find out what's going on there, and are there any slight differences, or is this accessing some data that one wasn't trained on, etc. But beyond that, I wouldn't do any more because it's just absolute overkill. Absolute overkill. So, yeah. And now to the policy, quick question, Tanya, what is your cluster trying to police?
Just to ensure that we're using AI tools safely, so we're not putting in like personal information, student information, that we're using it, I guess, to protect, yeah, identity of tamariki, ensuring that it's used responsibly, ultimately is our goal, yeah.
Well, as I sort of just went through that, ethically, it cannot retain any of that information anyway. And I think we have to be really, really careful that we're trying to put all these constraints on this tool because, for example, we know that Google does a lot more collection than this does. So I say, if you're going to ethically police AI, then you should ethically police Google. If there are actually going to be any breaches, and let's be honest, most breaches of privacy come via humans, not the AI itself. And so, you know, if a human misuses the tool, then we can't blame the tool. And if, let's say, Tony, that one of your members put on student data into a thread and they're doing some analysis, they then share that thread with someone outside of your cluster, then it can't be the tool's fault. And that's why I said, when I go back to when I wanted to do a policy, what I do want to police the use of it is that they're using it constructively well beforehand to actually get stuff done. I don't want teachers then thinking, I can do a unit in 5 minutes, so that means I'm not going to do my planning until Monday morning, 8 o'clock when I hit the staff room. You know, so that's what we want to get to, make sure we don't get any of our staff just using it as a quick tool to help them save time, but in the wrong sense of trying to save time.
Awesome.
Love that. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony, for your question. Good to see you. Jerry, there's one other question from Greg. I know we're supposed to take a couple, but this is really good. This is really good learning for them. Is there guidance, Greg asks, is there guidance somewhere on the best LLMs for different purposes, assuming that this change over time, this can change over time with updates too? Yeah.
And so what I do is, and I can send you that as well, Ben, Brian.
Yeah, we'll share that with everyone.
New Zealand Pacifica Principles, I every term I do the newsletters and I just pump out little bits and pieces of AI and what's happening. And the last one, I pretty much just listed down different chat platforms and what they're really ideal for.
Right.
So yeah, so I can send that through to you easy, bro.
Awesome. There's one other question, probably an important one because it does involve us. Can we ask an LLM to help write an OARS application with student details? Can we do that? Yeah, I mean, and if you're, like I was telling some schools, guys, if you're still reluctant to put a student's name in, just do the application, just don't add the student detail, just put student A. Yeah. And you have in your notebook, student A refers to this particular child. Whatever. Awesome. Just there's always a way around a tool. And all I'm saying is fine, you know, if you're still reluctant on some parts, either A, go find out more to validate any misconceptions, or find another loop to say, well, now instead of us, you know, I'll upload an EASTL data of my classroom, but I just don't provide it with its names. I just go student 1 to 10 or student 1 to 20, and then it still is able to tell me who's who, and then I just match that once I get it outside of the AI.
Awesome. Thanks for that. I hope that answered your question, Jamie. I think I'm going to stop there because I'm looking at the time. It's almost 10 o'clock. So if nothing else, if anyone else has got any live questions to ask, we'll stop there and I'll hand it over to Suze to say thank you. Oh, yeah, we've got another one. So, Jerry, I told you this was quite a popular topic. How many platforms can also do BOTs similar to that of GPT? Does that make sense? How many platforms can also do BOTs similar to that of GPTs?
All of them can.
Really? Cool.
Yeah.
Simple question. Okay, simple answer. Thank you. Suze, I'll hand it over to you. Thanks so much, Jerry.
All right, thanks, Ben. Whawhatai lava. Jerry, for sharing your journey and experience with AI, for giving us some tools and insights tailored to our questions and wonderings. Your examples shared are excellent. We can think about being challenged to question ethical use in education, using AI as an extension to what we already know. Thank you for sharing what AI is useful for and what you wouldn't recommend it for, how this tool can be used in various ways, such as text images, scripting, specific prompting, planning, social stories, and communicating with our Pacific students. Your model with Epic is amazing and specific. Hopefully you'll be able to share this with us. We have learned so much about using AI in an educational context. So whawhatai, te lava for your expertise, Jerry. Good to see you.
Susan. Good seeing you again, mate. Bloody good seeing you.
Jerry, you're not going to go away. You're still going to be here. But what I am going to say is Jerry is from Tautai or Moana. They're based over here in Auckland. However, Jerry, if clusters wanted you just for a couple of PD workshops around AI, would you be happy to go fly over, drive over, I don't know, boat over, canoe over to go and help them out? We'll send out Jerry's details if any of the cluster managers who are in this forum, if you do want Jerry to come in and have a chat with your cluster.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any good takeaways? Any good gems that you got from this? Don't be shy. I've been doing this for 3 years, and look, I'm not shy.
I love how you can make the resource and translate it from English into the second language speaking for your student. I thought that would have been very useful. I've been drawing pictures and trying to interpret myself. So amazing.
Thanks.
I think
Awesome.
it's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Cassandra.
Well, I can say I bandied your name about a lot, Brian, because Ben, because I said I need some one-on-one here, and then Ben to come and do it with me. Right, so you are booked for term 3.
Oh, thanks, Desiree. Good to see you. I saw your name come up and I said, oh my gosh, I better behave myself.
Hi, I'm Doug from Cluster 25. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi there.
Yes.
Just in our conversation, we were just discussing the difference between short-term memory and long-term memory with large language learning models. And we had different experiences of that where it was very clear that the language learning model had retained information long-term that was polluting what we were asking it to do now. So I just, I appreciate what's been said about it does not hold information, but getting clarity around the difference between its short-term memory and long-term memory would be important.
Okay. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for sharing that.
No,
Okay.
I'm in the, so I would like to talk about the long-term and short-term memory. What does it mean by in the AI forum? Just before ask the presenter questions about what does it mean in AI platform, long-term and short-term memory, and how does it play in the AI version tools?
Can I get Jerry? Are you in the house? Jerry, are you in the room?
Yeah.
Can you answer that question? Thanks.
And so the short term, and I'll talk in the context of ChatGPT. And so ChatGPT, its short-term memory is built into the threads. So that way it remembers what's basically going on throughout the discussion and its ability to recall basically what was either entered, responded to, etc., etc. The long-term memory is built in the background where it wants to try and hold patterns of the user itself. The way that I generally interact, some of my background, what I do, some of my role, etc., etc. Now, it'll either automate the long-term memory itself, or I can dictate what I want held as long-term memory based on what I do. So I can feed and say, well, hey, look, I'm an ex-principal, I work as a consultant, I do this, bang, 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 bang. And it only grabs little bits. So I can upload like a 5-page essay of what I do. It won't hold that. It'll just take the gems out of it based on what I want to do to ensure. So when I go back through a thread within my account, I'm not having to explain who I am again, the tone of my writing style, etc., etc.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you,
Milk
Jerry.
tea? Yep, milk tea. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Here is information about AI. Sorry, something Tracy's sharing. If there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you can contact me if you're interested in finding out more. I've just attached the PDF for the poster on the AI Roadshow. That's and Steve Smith at the start of the year we had a 1-day up in Whangarei into Tai Tokerau, and really amazing organisation. So it's kanohi ki te kanohi. Unfortunately it's not going to be online all day long, so yeah, but if you're keen,
Thanks,
just
Tracy.
go to that poster. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Tracy.
For those who are on, just some questions asked around how to use that tool in some more sort of practical form. And so I have worked with some teachers, and we've just gone and I've just told them to, for example, this spreadsheet here, where they'll set it, whether they theme each week, then they start to put in one comment on every student based on the theme. You can include learning data, etc.
Is this Excel? This is Excel.
Just an Excel.
Okay.
Because again, we can't get to the stage where our educators are just going into a large language model and then just asking, can you give me some student report comments? Again, that's an unethical approach, as opposed to thinking about, well, I want to work in partnership with AI. I'll provide all the detail, and all I want the AI to do is actually just use its expertise to put the comments together for me.
Awesome.
Okay, and then pre-prep the prompt here, which can you see that all right there, guys?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, can you make it a bit more? Can you enlarge that a bit? Yep, got it.
You can drag it bigger.
So
I probably, if people are using Zoom, you just need to just reduce your right side. I think the right side of your Zoom, and then you'll see a bit more.
yeah. And again, you sort of see that epic framing in there, where I'm sort of defining the role, I'm giving it the purpose, I'm instructing it, and then I've provided it with constraints down the end with 10 constraints. And then I do things like number 8, for example, no teacher jargon. Where is number 3? I want you to use the essence from the data that I'm going to provide. Okay. So what I'll do, I'm just going to just shrink that back down so it's easy for me to copy. I'll just drop all of that into, I'll choose Claude for this one. Okay, while it's going through its bits and pieces, this is the data that I'll copy over. And so I'll copy over everything from there. Oh, let me just shrink that down again a bit more. Okay. Go back here. Oh. Sorry, guys. That session froze.
Oh, it's frozen. That's okay.
No. We're back in live.
Awesome.
And so I've dropped in the prompt, I've dropped in the data, which is from the working sheet.
Can you enlarge that?
Yep.
Jerry? Jerry, what level did you put down? Was it a year level? Or?
No. Just some basic things.
Okay.
Hang on, let me just copy those. So I'm just shrinking it down.
Oh, wow.
And then it'll start ratting through. Now, if you look at just quickly, if everyone can just have a quick squiz of John's, because what we will now want to check is its accuracy towards the data that was provided. And did it actually just use the data and took the essence from it to then use its AI expertise in writing to now put the comment together for me. So AI itself hasn't done all the work. It's only done a section of it because I've provided everything else via this. And if we get John's doing well, continues well, starting to lose some books, begin to work cross classroom, we come back to John. However, John will benefit from developing stronger organization systems as he's occasionally, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Then I'll type in here for John only.
And it's just translated it.
Now, obviously, again, you're going to go over that
yeah.
with whoever is your Māori specialist within that space. But, you know, for those who are working in bilingual spaces, at least they're making slight adjustments to the thing as opposed to trying to write whole comments themselves in any given language.
Sam's just asked, can you set New Zealand English as a default in any LLM? I thought you could, no?
Sorry.
So can you set New Zealand English as a default in any LLM?
I think the best way to get around that is that you then just instruct that from the get-go.
It's got to be an instruction. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's trained a particular way. But again, maybe you know, just hearing that, I would then chuck that into long-term memory. So it keeps it on that, in that space and in that context.
Cool.
Yeah. But again, that's just a nice little quick little show of.
Thanks for that, Jerry. That is awesome. Desiree, did you get that? Yeah, she got it.
Yes, I did.
Cool. She got it. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks for sharing that, mate. Really appreciate that.
All good, mate.
Brian?
Blame you, Ben.
It's not me. Okay, let's do the Wheel of Pride. Thanks everyone for sharing that in the chat and for sharing what you've discussed. Jerry, thanks again, mate. Man, you're gold. You're worth your weight in gold. Definitely worth your weight in gold. So we'll send out Jerry's details if you ever need him to visit your class or your school, and he'll respond back to you. Brian, let's go to the Wheel of Prizes.
All righty. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yep, we can. Let's go.
That is the wheel. Let's go full screen. Okay, so Lita has been typing in everyone's names. So hopefully we've got everybody who's here. And our first prize is Pacific Educators Speaks book. We got 9 prizes to hand out. And the first winner is
Liz.
Liz, are you here?
Liz Clark.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Her name's on.
Sorry, Liz, you can't win if you're asleep.
Okay, next. Sorry.
Okay, same price. Haley, you here?
Yes.
Hey! Okay, Haley, that's a
Congratulations, Haley.
Pacific Educators Speaks.
Yep. Lita's got your name.
Anapera.
Anapera.
I'm sure you're here.
Anapera.
Talofa.
Yay!
So that's
Okay,
another
we got
copy
you.
of Pacific Educators Speak. So now this, we got 2 for the book, Mana of the Pacific, with those beautiful Pacific pictures in there and quotes. Julia Johnson, are you here?
Julia.
Yes, I'm here.
Woo!
Awesome. Thanks,
So one
Julia.
book for you, and here comes another book, Mana of the Pacific.
Greg.
Greg.
Wow. Yay.
You're here. All right, gotcha. And then so now it's 2 books of Pacifica. That's our book from the Pacifica Autism Support Group.
Claire.
Claire Hewitt. You here?
Yep. Yeah.
Yay. Okay, here's another Pacifica.
I wonder if any of them have actually won a prize before. Desiree.
Desiree from Ben's Liaison School, you here?
That's a sign, eh, Desiree? That is definitely a sign.
Rigged. No. So next one is Lalanga cards. So these are wonderful Pacific cards to build relationships with people.
Oh, those cards are really good. Yeah, I've used
Good drinking
them. I use
game
them all
too.
the time.
Right.
No, it's not. Oh my God, Brian, stop it.
Katharina?
Katharina? I hope we pronounced your name right. Sorry if we mispronounced. Katharina? I'm going to say that's Katharina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so these then I've got 2 little prizes. So Bathsheba, my colleague, she goes to Samoa and she's picked up these prizes from Samoa. Don't know if you can see it.
Karen.
Karen.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, look at
and
that.
I also have some earrings. So that little Mailani prize and earrings. And last one.
Tracy.
Tracy.
Here you are. I'm
Yay!
here.
Awesome.
Lovely.
Thanks, Tracy.
You are welcome.
Awesome. Okay.
right.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to go to a bit of a break, aren't we, Brian?
Yes.
Okay, so are we doing an island time break or are we going to stick to Kiwi time?
Time is time.
10:21. People, are you okay with 10 minutes? Shall we do 10 minutes? Yeah? Thumbs up?
Okay,
Yeah, I see a lot of thumbs up.
We can do 10 minutes and then Ben and I will just have a short break and then we'll do some mentees if you want to stay around, but not compulsory. So it's 10:21, Ben?
Yep, so we'll come back at 10:31, people. Okay? So we'll see you at 10:31.
It's 10:22. Let's make it 10:32.
Okay, 10:32. We'll see everyone back in about 10 minutes, 10:32. And while everyone's going for a break, Brian and I are going to do, well, I need to go for a bit of a break because I need a coffee. So
Too much information, Ben.
I said coffee. I said coffee, mate. I said coffee.
All right,
Okay.
see you all soon.
Thanks.
Cheers.